When you achieve something, when you finish the project, get the promotion, receive the praise, how long does it feel like enough? An hour, a day, and then the bar moves. You're already thinking about the next thing, aware of what is still missing, still unfinished, still not quite there. And underneath the drive, if you go quiet enough to feel it, there is something that doesn't feel like ambition, but feels more like urgency, like something chasing you, like you're running towards something that keeps moving. So if you grew up with a narcissistic or emotionally immature mother, there's a very specific reason for that feeling. And it has nothing to do with how talented you are or how much you want to succeed. It has to do what achievement was recruited to do in your childhood and what it is still trying to do now, years later, and without your full permission. This video is about both things at once, the gift and the injury. They are not separate, they're the same thing, but they're just seen from two different angles. Part 1. What achievement was originally for. Let me take you back. In a household with narcissistic or emotionally immature mother, love is not unconditional. That is the central wound. Not that love was entirely absent, but that it was available through a particular channel of performance. And you learned, maybe very early, that when you did well, when you brought home A's, when you were good, when you were impressive, when you reflected something back to her that she could be proud of, she was warmer and more available. And when you were simply yourself, maybe messy or needy or sad, the warmth was gone. Not dramatically, sometimes just coolness, she distracted or she turned away. Your attachment system, which is calibrated to track exactly this kind of signal, made a conclusion. It decided that love is conditional and the condition is performance. In schema therapy, we call what develops from this the unrelenting standard schema. A deeply held belief that you must always meet very high standards and that falling short means something catastrophic about your worth. But underneath that schema, almost always, is the defectiveness schema, the quiet, rarely spoken conviction that without the achievement, there's something fundamentally wrong with you, something that would make you unlovable if anyone saw it clearly. And then achievement becomes an armor, becomes the thing you hold between yourself and the fear that without it, you will be not enough. From an object relations perspective, what happened is this: the love you received was not for yourself, it was for your performance. So yourself and your performance became fused in your internal world. And to succeed became to exist in the eyes of the mother. To fail, even in small ways, it carried the unconscious weight of annihilation. Disappearing from her gaze entirely. And that is a very heavy thing to carry into a career, relationship. The early wound also produced the capacity for sustained effort. And that ability to delay gratification and tolerate discomfort, to hold a vision and work toward it even if it's difficult. That competence that comes from actually doing hard things repeatedly over years. All these are real, they belong to you, and they were forged in a difficult environment, but they are not less real for that. In psychodynamic terms, we can understand this as sublimation, the psychic's capacity to redirect painful energy onto something generative. The aggression that had no safe outlet in childhood, that desire that was too dangerous to express directly, all of it found a channel, and that channel built you. Right now, for many daughters of narcissistic mothers, achievement is doing too many jobs. It is doing the job of creating external proof of worth, because it was never established internally, and that is a job it cannot do permanently. And why the feeling never lasts. So here's the mechanism that keeps the achievement drive feeling hollow even when the achievements are real. Because when a child earns love through performance, she does not learn that she is lovable. She learns that her performance is acceptable. And those are two different things. So when the praise arrives, when someone tells you that you did brilliantly, that the work was exceptional, you should be proud, Your nervous system receives the praise at the level of the performance, and then it goes looking for what the praise was supposed to confirm, that you are enough, that you are safe, that you don't have to keep running. But it cannot find that confirmation because the praise landed on the achievement, not on the self, and the self is still waiting. This is why the bar keeps moving all the time, because you're unconsciously trying to solve that internal problem with an external solution. And no amount of external validation can reach the place inside you where the wound actually lives. From a polyvagal perspective, what is happening is that your nervous system never fully settled into safety. It learned in childhood that stillness was dangerous, that the moment you stop performing, the warmth might withdraw. So your autonomic system stayed mobilized, alert, and kept driving constantly. And then rest doesn't feel like rest. It feels like exposure. Like the moment your armor comes off, you are yourself without the achievements, you are exposed. Being just yourself without the accomplishments, that is the exact state your childhood taught you was not safe. And that is why you constantly keep moving, because stopping feels like disappearing. Now I want to name how this shows up, because it looks different depending on the person. For some daughters, it looks like never finishing. And you're probably watching many videos about procrastination. Projects get close to completion and then stall. Because completion means judgment, means the thing going out in the world and being evaluated. And evaluation means the possibility of being found defective, which the nervous system reads as the withdrawal of love. For others, it looks like compulsive comparison, always measuring against someone else who has more, or has gone further, or is doing better. Not because you're competitive in a healthy way, but because your worth is always being calculated relative to someone else, like it was when you were a child relative to your mother's approval. For others, it looks like the inability to receive praise without immediately deflecting it. We do it all the time. Someone tells you that you did something extraordinary and you say, oh, it was nothing really, or, oh, I still have so much to learn. Receiving the praise would require believing you deserve it, and that belief was never installed. And for many daughters of narcissistic mothers, the achievement wound shows up most clearly in relationships, where partners or friends or colleagues are unconsciously evaluated as an audience, and intimacy is more performed than you actually feel it. Because you know how to be impressive, but you struggle to be simply present and known without anything to show. Because the self that exists without performance, that self is the one that was not seen. And you're still waiting to find out whether you are enough on your own without performing. What healing looks like. It's about achieving differently from a different place. I think that we need to separate the drive from the terror, and to be able to want things and work hard toward them and feel genuine satisfaction in the doing without that urgency underneath, without the achievement being the only thing standing between you and the feeling that you do not deserve to exist. The first movement in this healing is learning to stay with yourself in the absence of any output. This sounds simple, and it is very, very difficult. It means sitting with the discomfort of not producing, not achieving, not being impressive, and practicing the discovery that you're still there. You don't disappear when performance stops. There's someone present even in the stillness. The second movement is learning to let praise actually land. When someone tells you that you did something well, try something different. Instead of deflecting, instead of immediately moving to what is next, pause, take a breath, try letting the words touch something. Not performing gratitude, no, actually receiving it. Notice the discomfort of that, and then notice that the discomfort passes and you're still there and nothing collapsed. The third movement, and this is the deepest one, is beginning to locate your worth somewhere other than your output. This requires building what we might call, borrowing from Winnicott, a sense of just being, an experience of existing that doesn't require any justification and does not need to earn its place. That is allowed to be present simply because it is there. And that experience often first develops in therapy. For many people in a relationship where someone is genuinely curious about you and not your accomplishments or insight or how impressive you are, just you, your ordinary self, your uncertainty, your longing. That experience of being seen without performing is what begins to install the sense that you were always enough, not because of what you did, because of what you are. If you build something real from a wound, and I'm sure you did, I want you to hold both of those things at once. You are capable and you're tired. You are accomplished and you're still looking for something the accomplishment cannot give you. You're impressive to the world. And somewhere inside you, there's a self who just wants to be known without having to earn it. That self has been waiting underneath everything you built for someone to finally tell her she was always already enough. And maybe, and I hope that someone starts with you. If this landed, I have earlier videos on the psychological container and on grieving a mother who is still alive. And together they form a fuller picture of what gets shaped inside daughters raised in these relational systems. Leave a word in the comments if you recognized yourself here. Take care.